everyone, happy Monday. It's Janet here to kick off a great week. We are going to be looking at some fun ideas for giving the gift of cards. One of the things that is probably the most made item with Stampin' Up! Products are greeting cards. So I want to show you how you can turn them into an amazing gift. And as a matter of fact, that was always one of my grandmother's favorite gifts. Many years ago, there was a company called Current. And one of the things that our family used to always do was to send Grandma a couple of boxes of different cards for all different occasions and birthdays, along with a roll of stamps. Saved Grandma from having to run around and look for them, get out and about, saved her from having to worry about stamps and things like that. And it was a gift that she really loved. And it was really sweet because you never just got a card from Grandma. You always got something that was clipped out of the newspaper, whether it was a cute little cartoon or a Dear Anders letter that had been written, or something that was local to the newspaper that my dad would appreciate. So let's go ahead and let's switch the camera around and bring in our light so we can take a look at all of the fun things that I have to share with you tonight. So let's set our little work bucket aside. And let's start first and look at ways that you would have to present them. I'm not going to show you how to make cards because there are tons and tons of ideas on my blog, tons of ideas here. What I want to talk to you about is how to present them. So we have our craft gift boxes. These are in the holiday catalog and they will be carrying over, which means that you'll be able to continue to order them January through June. And then we have our acetate card boxes. What's nice about both of these is, as you can see, they store flat, which means that you can keep them in a drawer and have them on hand, not worry about getting them squished or anything like that for when you want to give the gift of cards. Another benefit of having them come flat and store flat is it makes it much easier to embellish and to decorate these boxes this way and then assemble them later. Your craft boxes are slightly larger, and that's going to be a benefit working with some of our oversized cards. And it is pre-scored. You've got a little bit of adhesive. I have found, though, when I am using this as a box for assorted greeting cards, I like to reinforce the adhesive that is on this box, just because it's going to be opened and shut. You're going to get into it a lot getting those cards out. But it is pre-scored. You've got a pretty little window. We'll show you how to utilize the window or hide the window. And then our acetate boxes, these do hold standard what's called an A2 card here in the United States. That is a card that is half a sheet of cardstock, so when it's finished, it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And these just, again, go together real fast and real easy. So let's bring in just a couple of sneak peeks to showcase for you what fits inside of these boxes. So in the new catalog coming, we have these really fun, and I saved the paper so I could remember, Abstract Beauty, note cards, and envelopes. So lots and lots of fun that you're going to have with these as your starter bases. And they are slightly oversized, so they're going to be perfect inside of the box here, okay? How many fit? That's going to be totally dependent on how many layers you build up on your note card. I usually find I can get at least 6 in there. If I start to go a little crazy, it may only be about 4 or 5. If I'm keeping them relatively flat, I can also sometimes get upwards of 8 in the card. So you have these really fun note cards. Of course, we have some of our gingerbread Memories and More cards in the catalog as well. Another fun product coming is our Memories and More cards. And in this case, look at those fun stripes. Misty Moonlight, white on the inside, coordinating envelopes. And then you have your slightly smaller cards. And again, these are going to fit down inside of your box. And then in this case here, I just took a standard A2 card. This is just a traditional 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 card. I have 6 note cards and envelopes, and you can see that they do indeed easily fit down inside. I can easily take that same 6, and they do fit nicely right down inside as well, okay? This also makes for nice sturdy shipping. You don't have to worry about having extra big boxes or anything like that. You can slip these into a little padded envelope, a priority envelope, any type of manila mailer that you might have. So these are nice sturdy boxes once they're filled with cards. And again, they themselves then can be easy to mail. So let's take a little bit of a look at what kinds of really fun things we might want to do to decorate these boxes up. Now, of course, you don't have to do anything to them if you don't want. Your cards are going to show right through the front. You can simply just tie a ribbon around it, cute little tag, and you're good to go. Same thing here. The window will allow a peek into the cards, ribbon and a tag, and you're done. But of course, we're crafters. We always want ideas for things that we can do to our different types of boxes and things like that. So in this case here, I've simply used a mask, also known as a stencil. And I've used our blending brushes, and as you can see here, it's smaller than the box, so I just leaned it on an angle and did one color and then came back in and did the other color, and then just took a tissue and wiped the ink right off of the cover. And so I was able to alter the box very quickly and very easily with a stencil. You can also stamp directly on these, so you can take any of our beautiful stamps and just stamp directly on them. It is nice craft paper and readily soaks up that ink. Looks absolutely amazing. So stenciling's an idea. Another idea is to just simply put something really pretty behind the window. In this case, I used the die cut from Potted Succulents. Look how pretty that is. You can cut a piece of cardstock, and that's something else that you can do is you can just simply cut a piece of cardstock to fit in this open layer. I usually find about 4.5 by 6 inches is perfect on that inside piece, and that alone then just starts to alter that look just like that. So then looking at our acetate boxes, they're nice and clear. Something fun that you can do with them is you can run them through and you can emboss them. You want to do that while it's flat, and what I like to do with it is I like to take a piece of cardstock and just slide it down inside, and then I run it through with the embossing folder. So, but you can emboss, and I'll show you another one that's been embossed just so you can see working with that. So you can just simply add either texture or an image to it by embossing it. To make this pop here inside, what I have found is a piece of cardstock that is 6.5 by 4.25 and scored 1/2 inch. Sits perfectly right down inside to make whatever you do to the front of that box pop just a little bit more, and kind of keeps the cards that are inside a surprise. Makes it kind of fun when they open it up like a secondary gift. You've got the gift of the box, and then you open it up and you get to see all the pretty cards. So and even just that, even just adding paper to the inside is a great way. I don't find the need to come all the way up the back. First off, that would involve paper that's 13 inches, which we don't have, or 2 pieces like that that overlap at the bottom. But it also then, I find, just takes up that little extra room in there that I don't need. So one piece at 6.5 by 4.25, scored at 1/2 inch is perfect for doing that. Something else that you can do, and I will show you the do's and the don'ts, is that you can emboss on the acetate. One of the really nice things about Stampin' Up's heat tool, and if you don't have it, it would be a great purchase during free shipping on Wednesday, is that it has 2 heat settings. It has a really low, gentle heat setting, and so you can heat slowly without totally crumpling up your box. Can you see here how this one kind of got overheated because I didn't use the low and slow setting? So you can heat it. And also in this case, I didn't put cardstock down between. But here you can see where you can emboss directly on your acetate. Again, you need a very, very low setting. You want to heat slow. And another option is to heat from underneath, not from the top down. You want to heat from underneath. One last thing is if you are going to emboss it, you definitely want to use an anti-static tool because this is an acetate. Any of your oils, things just stick to it because it's acetate. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Emboss Buddy, some type of Swiffer cloth, a dryer sheet, or you can create your own type of anti-static tool by taking a little bit of cornstarch and putting it into cheesecloth, tying it off, and then you can just pounce away and make sure that you get rid of all that static. The reason being is, again, then your powder sticks everywhere, and you can kind of definitely see it on this one. So this is the what not to do one. You need one of those every now and then, right? So then something else that you can do with the acetate is that you can stamp on it with our StazOn, our black StazOn ink. And let's just slide this inside so we can get it to pop better for you. Okay. Hold on there, guys. There we go. So you can stamp on it with black StazOn. StazOn is a perfect ink that you want to use on your non-porous surfaces. And give it a few seconds to dry. Once it's dry, then you can take your Stampin' Blends and you can start to color away. And you can also then use your Wink of Stella to add just a little bit of glitter. So you can indeed stamp on the boxes. And then another thing that you can do is combine that Wink of Stella along with our Stampin' Blends. And in this case, I used the Big Butterfly Mask and colored it with the Stampin' Blends. And then I used the second layer and I used our Sparkle Embossing Paste, and it's got a definite texture to it here. These are sneak peeks of some new masks coming. So you can definitely do a little bit of acetate on them. Other ways that you have of decorating them is just with a simple what's called a belly band. I'm going to give you guys a couple more sneak peeks. Look at this greeting, guys. Sending a card instead of a text. Isn't that the best card for a box of cards? I mean, the best greeting for a box of cards. So a little sneak peek of some paper, some doilies. The black gingham ribbon is carried over. You'll be able to definitely order that, but I love this greeting. So a belly band is something that just simply wraps around. In this case, there's no adhesive on it because you do want to be able to slide it on and off so that you can open that box and get inside. And then I just put a little bit of the Coastal Cabana inside the window just to coordinate with some of the paper. Something else that you're going to be able to do is in the new catalog, we have dies and we have cards for Slimline Cards. Slimline Cards are much longer. Here you can see that they are indeed much longer. They are a little more narrow, but they are definitely longer than any of our boxes. You can easily combine two boxes together to create a gift card set of our Slimline Cards. What you're going to do is you're going to put your first box together. Let's take our second box and we're going to put our second box together. And actually, we don't even need to close it. I just want to make sure everything's going to work. And I'm going to take this card, this box, and I'm going to slide it into the first box. And it does go. Well, there we go. And you're just going to slide it in. And what I actually did was I used the Slimline envelopes as a guide for how far the boxes needed to be together. Just like, so in this case, that's a perfect mark. I did not adhere the boxes in any way. Instead, I'm going to show you what I will do once I'm done with this sample for you for the video. So let's take the belly band off. And I've taken a piece of sticky tape on both sides. It overlaps where the boxes come together and the little flap. I'm going to peel that off. That sticky strip is the width of my belly band. And so then once I have that sticky strip, I'll be able to go in, and now I'll be able to just really kind of smush this band down inside. Because in this case, the belly band is not holding the box shut, it's decorating and it's actually hiding the overlap of the two boxes. And now I can put my Slimline Cards down inside there. Another fun little sneak peek for you. Look at those fun tulips and the windmill. Of course, for this box, the tag here in the background here, I used my favorite hippo dies. And just another new greeting, we have to celebrate this. When you're looking at doing greeting cards as gifts, You can simply choose to just do all birthday cards. You could simply choose to do sympathy cards. You could do what are called all occasion cards. They're cards that just simply say thinking of you. Or you could do cards that are note cards, cards that have no specific greeting on the front and are nice on the inside so that the person can write loving messages to the person that they're sending them to. So make sure that you check out our acetate card boxes as well as our craft gift boxes. In my online boutique, I will link the codes for you. And then you're also going to want to be staying tuned for some amazing fun card classes that I will be debuting the last week of December. You're going to really want to be a part of those classes as we fill boxes using new product, new ideas, and you have greeting cards on hand yourself as well. You give yourself the greeting card. So thank you guys so much for popping in on a Monday night. I've got lots more ideas for you this week, guys.